Hello, and welcome to the Reason for Faith podcast, where we offer answers to questions on God, Jesus Christ, and the Bible. I'm your host, Martin Mikołajczuk. Today on the program, we're going to discuss the question, does God exist? If he does exist, there should be evidence to show that he is real. Let's look at some evidence that shows that God exists. Number one, the universe must have a cause. The law of cause and effect states, for every material effect we see, there is a cause that came before it or was simultaneous to it and is greater than it. So how did the universe begin? Well, if you don't believe in God, you have to believe in something like the Big Bang, that some kind of singularity exploded and created everything that exists today. So the question then becomes, what was the singularity and where did it come from? If you ask the scientific community, they'll tell you that a singularity is something that came into existence from nothing. What most people don't realize is that if there was a time where there was nothing, we would still have nothing. The idea is that this singularity, although natural, somehow behaves supernaturally. So in essence, we have to come to the conclusion that the universe had a beginning and the cause was supernatural. Now, someone might have a problem with me saying God created the universe and everything in it, but if you believe in evolution and you believe in the Big Bang, you have to come to the same conclusion that there had to be a supernatural cause of the universe. There's just no other way around it. Science proves that nothing begets nothing. There has to be something outside of the natural realm to cause the creation. A second piece of evidence that we can look at is life itself. If you remove God from the equation, you have the idea that life came from non-living material, which is simply not possible. This evolutionary idea that life can come from non-living chemicals has just been proven wrong. Every single experiment that they've done has not been able to produce life from nothing. It's simply biologically impossible. Life doesn't arise from non-living chemicals. So if we remove God from the picture, we have a singularity that explodes, that came from nothing, and somehow this material that came from this explosion caused life. And that's just biologically impossible. You can ask any scientist, if they're honest, they will tell you the same thing. They cannot replicate it. It is biologically impossible. The next piece of evidence we can look at is free will. Atheism suggests that this material world is everything that was, is, and will be. Because of that, the implication is that every person in the world has no free will. Your mind is just electrons bouncing around, and you really don't have any decision-making process. It's just the physical laws and properties going on in your brain. If you believe that you're listening to this podcast of your own free will, then you have to believe that there is a God to account for that free will that you have. And the final evidence I'm going to share with you today is reasoning. The idea that we reason together. If we are the product of random processes, then the laws of reasoning make no sense at all. There is no explanation for it. Reasoning has no naturalistic explanation. So where did it come from? And there you have it, folks. A few pieces of evidence to show that God is real, God does exist. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to hear more evidence on the proof that God exists, or if you have any other questions pertaining to the Bible, God, or Christianity, send them to us and we'll be happy to answer them for you.